Welcome to Julia Lives. Today I'm going to give you a tour of Vanderbilt University located in Nashville, Tennessee. Many universities are still only offering virtual tours, but Vanderbilt does offer an in-person admission meeting along with a self-guided tour. So you begin at the bookstore where you'll park, and then you just walk about a block down over here, and then you'll go into this auditorium where you do get to listen to live in-person speakers. They give you these complimentary cans of water. The three speakers that they had, two were employees and then one was a recent graduate, but all three had graduated from Vanderbilt. I will say though, all three had graduated from the Peabody College of Education and Human Development. All three were women, so it was not much of a diverse session in terms of the other colleges. They do offer the College of Arts and Science, Blair School of Music, or the School of Engineering, but we really did not get to hear much about those. The slides that you're seeing were taken directly from the presentation. Vanderbilt has about 6,000 undergraduate students and 7,000 graduate students, so a total of just over 13,000. It's a smaller campus. It's part of the SEC. They didn't talk about any kind of a bus system. The weather there is obviously very temperate. In the summer, it gets extremely hot, and we'll talk about that later. But everything, you're either going to ride by bike or by foot around campus. They don't allow freshmen to bring cars. They did say the older students can get a parking pass, but they discouraged it. They said you don't really need it, and that they require students to live on campus. So if you're thinking of going and living somewhere in Nashville, they indicated at this presentation that was not allowed. Now they estimate that the tuition per year is about $56,000, but with the housing and other expenses, it's an estimated $79,000 to attend Vanderbilt University. Here we're looking at the different fraternities and sororities at Vanderbilt. They did explain that the Greek system there is very different from most larger universities. They do not allow their members to live in those houses. They only have the officers living there. So if you go in the Greek system, there's only like 6 people that can live in these big houses. So it didn't sound like it was an extremely popular part of Vanderbilt. They do have a number of clubs and other things that you can participate in if you want some social outlets other than the typical things you might find in a college campus. Make sure you wear good walking shoes on the self-guided tour, and if it's in the summer, I would wear dry fit clothes. I saw some people who appear to be struggling walking around and getting rides back in golf carts to the main area of campus. Now we're about to come up to Alumni Lawn. You'll see that in just a moment. That's where they hold graduation, and there are other functions that they do in this big open space. And then in just a couple of minutes, we are going to cross over a bridge. So the bridge takes you over to the other part of campus where all the freshman dorms are located. I've been on a lot of college admissions tours. 2 years ago, I traveled from Baltimore up to New Haven, Connecticut with my son, who is now a student at the University of Michigan. He was accepted at the University of Michigan and at Boston University. He scored a 1570 on his SAT and was number 1 in a class of over 700 students. He was also a nationally ranked tennis player. He did not get into Harvard. He applied. He also, his junior year, Harvard awarded him a book. They awarded the number 1 student in his class this particular book, and he met with someone from admissions. Harvard ended up accepting the 3rd best student in his class who had a 1470. So Vanderbilt has a 9.1 acceptance rate, but again, they're a private school. They can use other criteria in their admissions, so it's possible if for some reason you don't get accepted, it doesn't have anything to do with you, okay? So I just want to share that bit of experience because I think it can be kind of confusing on how these schools admits different students into their universities. My other takeaway from that experience is that some of the state schools like University of Michigan and UCLA are full of the best and brightest students in the country. I will also tell you that my son did not receive any financial aid. I work in public education, so BU is about, I think, $75,000 a year. They did not offer him a cent to come there. And then when he declined the admission, they sent him an email wondering why he didn't want to attend. I will tell you, the University of Michigan, through his AP test scores and testing out of classes, he did get a full year of credit. So he started as a sophomore, and I do think for high achieving students that's fairly common. It would be worth your while if you want to attend Vanderbilt or any school really to find out what their policies are for AP test scores or testing out of classes, because that can save you an entire year worth of tuition if you're able to utilize things that you've already done in order to get those credits. So this is the bridge that will take you over to the freshman dorms, and then there's also an early childhood development center that you'll see in just a minute, and some other buildings where you may or may not have classes if you attend Vanderbilt. I felt very safe on campus. I didn't see anything that concerned me. However, there also were not any other students walking during the time that we were there, or anyone really, just the people who were on the tour. It's located, Vanderbilt is located really close to Centennial Park. You can actually see Vanderbilt from Centennial Park. And then this area, Midtown, is very popular with students to eat or do a little bit of shopping, and it's certainly walkable. We had a car, but you could walk from the campus to this area. Best wishes to all of you who are considering colleges and trying to figure out what would be the best fit for you. Please feel free to drop comments if you have experience or you have questions about anything that I can answer. And I always appreciate it when you hit that like button, and of course, subscribe to Julia Lives.